Hello, my name is Lydia Mitchell, and today I will be doing a presentation over trademark law. Some points that I am going to discuss in this presentation are definition, what the law means, some examples to help kind of say, oh, hey, that's a trademark, the beginning of the law, functions that a trademark serves, why you should protect a trademark, and some distinctions. Okay, so to start off the definition. A trademark is any word, name, symbol, or design, or any combination, therefore, used in commerce to identify and distinguish the goods of one manufacturer or seller from those of another and to indicate the source of the goods. So, I don't know how many of you guys would ever have thought, oh, hey, walking down the street, you see something such as Nike and think, oh, that's a trademark. Because I know personally I never would. But once I started researching this, I really started to think, like, hey, we see trademarks every day, whether we're watching TV and we see it in a commercial, or if we're on the internet and an ad pops up and it's advertising something and they have like a word or a phrase or a symbol. It's their trademark, and that's what they use to let the public know, like, hey, this is this company or this is this product. They use that to help distinguish their service or their product. So we kind of see them every day. Some examples. So I have, on this first one, I have words. Subway. Everybody likes Subway. That's a trademark. Coca-Cola. Just the word Coca-Cola and how it's spelled, not how it's spelled, but their fonts. You know, when you see that, you're saying, oh, Coca-Cola. Like, you don't even really have to read it. You just kind of like, you see the font and the style, you're just like, oh, okay. Phrases, just do it. It's one of my favorite ones. Nike, actually. That's Nike's. They had a bunch of like, shirts and leggings and jackets and stuff made with the phrase, just do it. And then they have the little Nike emblem to go with it. Another one of my favorites is You're Fired by Donald Trump, our now president. That one, it's just anytime I've ever heard it, I automatically think of him. Like, even if it was somebody random who said it, like Donald Trump is the guy who pops up into my head and I picture saying that. Symbols. Starbucks, one of my favorites. I really enjoy my Starbucks. The Nike, the Nike check or the actual word. And then for design, since I had the Coca-Cola word as listed as one of the words, I figured I'd use the can for design. Because this is what they have on all of their products. Clothes, candy, like they do make candy, which is actually kind of cool. But on the Coca-Cola cans, like, this is what you see. You know, the word Coca-Cola, it's in a specific font, in a specific text size, specific colors. You know, whenever they print it in red, it's in a specific red versus white. So it's actually very cool and pretty interesting, and I did not know that it went into this much detail and this much depth, but it's actually kind of interesting. I did want to point out, though, I know the pictures are small, but underneath the Starbucks symbol, there's a little, it kind of looks like a dot if you can't really see it, but it's actually a capital R with a circle around it. And that is actually a distinction that I will talk about later on in this presentation, but I just wanted to point it out right now so that you can see and think back later, like, oh, okay, like this is why that's there. So for the beginning, on July 8th, 1870, the Federal Trademark Act was enacted as the first U.S. federal law to protect trademarks. In 1879, the Supreme Court held the law unconstitutional, and therefore they abolished it. The Supreme Court held the law unconstitutional due to a conflict with the provision on patents in the Constitution. That's why they had it abolished. But there was a replacement. On March 3rd, in 1881, the Trademark Law was enacted that targeted trademarks used in interstate commerce. But, however, there were certain things that this replacement did not accommodate for. So, the development of the American economy, because of the development of the American economy, this replacement underwent revisions occasionally during subsequent years. Functions that a trademark serves. A trademark serves the purpose of identifying the source or the origin of goods. Trademark law performs the following 4 functions. It identifies the product and its origin. It proposes to guarantee its quality. It advertises the product. The trademark represents the product. And it creates an image of the product in the minds of the public, particularly the consumers or the prospective consumers of such good. So they try to make things appealing to the public eye. So if you saw something that was a company's trademark or a product's trademark, you would think, okay, like it needs to be nice, like it needs to be eye-catching and popping, like bright colors, like stuff like that, that'll catch your eye and make you think about it, like if you saw it in a commercial, like, oh, this is this company or this is this product, I want to try that. That's what they're going for whenever they do that. Okay, why you should protect a trademark? Trademarks are protected under federal and state law. Trademarks are earned, not born. You have to actually put some work into making something a trademark. Trademarks come in being through actual use. Something that is used every day or something that you see every day, like, stuff like that. You do not have to register a trademark to have it protected, but there are some advantages to doing so. Some of those advantages are not having other people use your idea, taking credit for it. You don't want that to happen. A trademark registration provides constructive notice to the public of the registrant's claim of ownership to the mark. So, they know that's yours. You didn't steal it from somebody else. Like, you actually came up with it. You put in the work. Like, it's yours. Registrant's exclusive right to use the mark nationwide or in connection with the goods and or services listed in the registration. So, going from protecting it, these are the protection symbols, the TM, SM, and the capital R. So, the TM and SM symbols are used with unregistered marks. TM for trademarks or marks that represent goods. So, that one's pretty straightforward. SM or service markets or markets that represent services. So, like McDonald's or Walmart, like stuff like that. They're providing a service for you. Now the big one, the capital R with the circle around it. It is reserved for marks registered in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. All right, so now I want to go into a little more detail with them. When you use the TM or SM, you notify the public of your claim of branding rights in a particular mark. Yes. And in the turn, you dissuade others from adopting the same or similar mark for the same or similar products or services. So, I know somebody, they have a nickname. And with this nickname, anywhere they put it, it's actually their Twitter name. They have the little TM at the end of it. That's theirs. That's what they're known for. That's their trademark. Whenever I see this person, that's what pops into my head. Their nickname. So it's kind of cool. When you use the federal registration symbol, which is the capital R with a circle around it, it's regulated by federal law. You may only use the symbol with a federally registered mark and as applied to the goods and or services listed in the registration. While you are not legally required to use the symbol, failure to use it is not without its own consequences. In an enforcement action, you will forfeit your right to recover lost profits or any money damages unless you can prove the defendant had actual knowledge that your mark was registered prior to the infringing activity. So you don't have to register your trademarks, but if something were to happen and someone else was supposed to take credit for it and you were losing profit or you were losing your business over this, that's a reason you should protect it and you should claim it as yours so that nobody else can come and take it and use it, claiming it as theirs. So, just something to think about. Okay, categories of distinctiveness. For a trademark to be distinctive, it must identify the mark or the marker or the I'm sorry. For a trademark to be distinctive, it must identify the maker or provider of a particular product or service. The different levels of distinctiveness determines the amount of protection a court will provide to a trademark. There are 4 general categories of distinctiveness recognized by courts today. We're going to go into those. Okay, if I don't say these words right, bear with me. Arbitrary or fanciful marks. These marks have no direct connection to the product or service. They do not describe the qualities or characteristics of the item they identify. These marks were created for the specific purpose of serving as a trademark, and they have no other meaning apart from their function. Kind of like the nickname, you know? It's pretty straightforward. Arbitrary mark is a real word that has no connection to the word's literal meaning. An example of that would be Google, kind of. That's one I came across. So, suggestive marks. While not actually describing a product or service, these marks suggest quality of or characteristic. These marks are quite common because they successfully tie the mark to a product or service in a manner that requires imagination, thought, or perception. So an example of this would be Under Armour. Like, you think about it, you have an open mind to what Under Armour could mean. It's kind of cool. Descriptive marks. These marks merely describe the goods or services for which the mark is used. An example of that would be sugar, or like real cane sugar. Like, it's just describing it and what it would be used for. Generic marks simply refer to a general class of which the specific product or service is only one example. Any seller has the right to call product or service by its generic name, so there is no distinctiveness. Things that would fall under this type of category would be aspirin, a car, or a zipper even. Like, there's no like real way to kind of just get away from saying those words. Like, it is what it is. That's it. There are no other names for it. Like, it's just that. And then there are my references. So I hope you enjoyed this little presentation, and hopefully you learned a little something, because while I was making it, I know I did. Thank you.